Hi everybody, I'm Zack Loran Clark.
I'm Nick Eliopulos.
And we are the co-authors of the Adventurers Guild.
Woo. And we are here today to discuss 10 reasons why you should read the Adventurers Guild Book 2, Twilight of the Elves. Hopefully the first reason could be that you read and loved the Adventurers Guild, but we're assuming no prior knowledge of the series. Reason number one, I think we should do it like a little. Reason number one to read Twilight of the Elves.
Fantasy. Nick and I are both big fantasy nerds. We play Dungeons and Dragons together every week. The Adventurers Guild is us trying to do for games like Dungeons and Dragons what Percy Jackson does for Greek myths.
All the things that people love about things like Lord of the Rings or Dungeons and Dragons, but it's got a post-apocalyptic twist and putting a heavy emphasis on the monsters in this world.
Woo.
Reason number two.
Elves. I love elves. I play elves a lot in our Dungeons and Dragons campaigns. They are my favorite part of the Lord of the Rings movies. Elves are snooty and fancy and magical. I just can't take my eyes off them. I'm so excited to write them. Book 2 is really all about the elves.
And such an integral part that they made it into the title.
Yes.
Reason number three to read Twilight of the Elves, Dragon. This would maybe count as a spoiler, except we decided the dragon was so cool it had to go on the cover. We're not considering it a spoiler to say that there is a dragon in this book. The exact particulars about what kind of dragon it is and how it works in this world, that'll be a surprise for pretty late in the story.
One of the main questions we get from kids who have read the first book is, will there be dragons? And we are now finally excited to say, yes, be careful what you wish for.
Reason number 4. Friendship!
Nick and I are best friends, and we are writing the series about two best friends. Our main characters are Zed and Brock. They have been buddies for their whole lives, and they've really defended each other, depended on each other, especially as they joined the Adventurers Guild.
So in book 1, it's basically the story of this best friendship dealing with the worst thing it's ever had to overcome. And the characters really reaffirm what great friends they are, and it's this really nice feel-good story. And book 2 might break your heart a little bit because we took things in a different direction, and we thought it would be interesting to sort of look at this friendship as it starts to strain.
But even as our two main characters, Zed and Brock, are finding themselves becoming more distant, a lot of the other characters are making relationships and connections in ways that are very fun to write. This is still a group of kids and characters who really like each other and depend on each other.
And for fans of romance, and I know that you're out there, I won't give too much away, but Brock does start to grow closer with another member of the cast. I drew inspiration from my own life. I actually went on a field trip when I was in school, and we went on a field trip to a jail. As part of this field trip, we had to pair up and get locked in a jail cell. So a girl that had a crush on me,
I've never heard this.
No, it's true. So this girl that had a crush on me was super excited about this and jumps up and basically grabs my hand and says Nick and I, jail cell together, the two of us. And it was agonizing. It was excruciating. It was me and this poor girl, and it wasn't going to work. We had nothing in common. Just we were just sitting there for 5 minutes, staring at each other, locked into a jail cell. So that was my inspiration for the Brock and Liza locked in a subterranean Elvin crypt chapter. Write what you know. Write what you know.
The romance is electric. Reason number 5. Fell. This is a new Elvin character that we're introducing to the cast. We've got a lot of kids from Freestone. We've got Zed and Brock. We've got the other apprentice adventurers. And now, finally, we get to have a full Elvin adventurer join the crew.
Yeah, Fell was really a character that we wanted in book 1. We always knew that we were going to get to Fell, but book 1 just ended up being too packed. So it's not until book 2 that we finally get our Elvin character, our ranger character. So she's that sort of wilderness savvy character with the bow and arrow and great tracking skills. And she has her faithful animal companion, as rangers tend to.
And that brings us to reason number 6.
Oh, this is its own reason.
Yes.
I didn't realize that. Reason number 6. Sure.
Mousebane.
Mousebane.
Mousebane stands on his own.
Mousebane's a girl.
on her own.
Mousebane is a cat. Mousebane is Fel's faithful animal companion. The archetype, the fantasy archetype of these sorts of companions is like these massive, majestic, super intelligent, like wolves or panthers.
Or eagles.
Yeah.
And Mousebane is just kind of a house cat, and kind of a grumpy, kind of ugly house cat. So think majestic, wonderful spirit animal, except it's Crookshanks from Harry Potter. Reason number 7.
I don't remember what it is. What is it?
It's undead.
Undead.
The Adventurers Guild is a world... I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. Go ahead.
Stop telling you.
I was just going to say, because we already established that a lot of the series is about the monsters. Monsters have basically overrun this world. There's only maybe like 5 cities still standing after this wave of monsters. But we've divided these monsters up into different types. And a type of monster we did not see in book 1, because we were saving it for book 2, is the undead.
And book 2 is swarming with the undead. You learn very early that... oh, no, I can't say that. Never mind. Spoiler alert.
Spoilers.
Book 2 is swarming with the undead. Full stop.
Should we say what we mean by undead? Do people know undead?
Yeah.
By undead, we mean zombies, and we mean banshees, and we mean ghosts. These spectral things, revenants, which are like zombies but more intelligent.
Basically, they're monsters that were dead and now
Undead.
Reason number 8. Dark magic.
Dark magic, ooh.
So my character Zed is, he's a sorcerer. He's a person for whom magic comes naturally and intuitively. And for him that means that he has access to spells of a different bent, which are maybe not the best spells to be using. They're actually illegal in the city. And we're gonna see him using those a little bit more and being a little more haunted by the dark magic that is coming to permeate his story.
And now that you have heard Zach talk about elves and magic, you are officially his new best friend. That's basically all there is. Reason 8?
9.
Reason 9 is the shadows. Whereas Zach is sort of exploring the more magical side of things, Brock in book 1, you learn pretty early on, he's basically functioning as a spy within the Adventurers Guild, working for an organization called the Shadows. The Shadows are the thieves and the assassins and the spies in Freestone. You don't learn too much about them in book 1. Book 2, pretty early on, you get to see sort of what Brock's day-to-day work for the Shadows entails. You get to see where the black market is underneath the streets of Freestone. You get to meet some of the masters and mistresses of the guild. So it's kind of like insight into a whole other guild that you don't really get to see in book 1, which was a lot of fun to write.
And I don't know about any of this. It's very secret. And our last reason number 10, book 2 has a very intense, game-changing twist ending. We're just going to throw it out there. We love twists. We love when stories turn on their heads and everything changes. This is the book where things get really, really crazy.
Even I was surprised.
Yeah.
One of the great things about working in a genre, and a genre that we love, is that there's so many familiar elements in fantasy, right? You're writing an epic fantasy, you need the elves in there, you need at least one dragon. But that means that you sort of, as a reader, you get lulled into the sense of like, oh, this is a familiar, cozy world. And that just sets you up to be really surprised and maybe a little heartbroken.
I remember when our editor got back to us after the first draft, she wrote, is this going to continue into the 3rd book? It's a very interesting twist, and it has surprised a few of our friends who have read it.
So there you have it. 10 whole reasons to read Twilight of the Elves. And if any of those reasons appeal to you and you haven't read the Adventurers Guild yet, there's still time. Twilight of the Elves comes out this November.
Yes.
But book 1 is out right now in hardcover.
It's also out in paperback this October, and now available in audio as of this summer.
So check it out. Let us know what you think, and hopefully you'll be the first to pick up Twilight of the Elves and have your minds blown. Thank you so much to JeanBookNerd blog. You got us to do our very first vlog for you. So thanks for hosting us. And
Could you tell?
could you tell? Invite us back for book 3.